While the world is busy watching the US dollar and the Chinese yuan, a quiet but powerful shift is taking place in the desert of the Middle East. A small nation with almost no natural resources left is strategically building something extraordinary. They are stacking gold at record levels, strengthening their own currency, and positioning themselves as a neutral financial powerhouse. The question is the UAE Dirham quietly becoming the next strong global currency? It's 1971, the Middle East. The UAE is just formed, 7 small emirates coming together for the first time. What does the UAE look like back then? Mostly desert, fishing villages, pearl divers. That's it. There's no real economy, no infrastructure. It's poor. And compared to its neighbors like Saudi Arabia and Kuwait, the UAE basically is almost no oil, like a fraction of what they got. On paper, this should have been a nowhere place, a backwater desert nation with no resources and no prospects. But here's where the story gets interesting. That in 1973, just 2 years after forming, the UAE creates its own currency, the UAE Dirham. It replaced the Qatari Riyal and other currencies floating around, and they peg it to the US dollar at a rate of 3.67 dirhams to $1. That peg has remained almost untouched ever since. In 1997, they officially locked it in at 3.6725 AD to $1 US, and it stayed there for almost 30 years. Now, fast forward to today, 2026, 50 plus years later, the UAE is one of the richest countries in the world. Dubai is a global financial hub. Abu Dhabi is pumping money into projects everywhere. They're influencing geopolitics. They're shaping global trade. How do they do this? By not having the natural resources? How did they go from nothing to everything? Here's the thing. They didn't rely on oil. They got smart, really smart. What they actually did, they built world-class infrastructure, ports, airports, roads, everything you need for business to flow through. They made it easy to do business there. They created free zones like the Dubai Multi-Commodity Center, DMCC. Businesses could set up shop, pay basically zero taxes, and operate globally from Dubai. That's attractive. They position themselves as neutral, neither east nor west, just a place where everyone can trade safely. And they focus on trade, finance, tourism, and technology, not just oil. Diversification. The result? By 2025, the UAE became the world's second largest gold trading hub, handling nearly $120 billion in gold trade yearly. Dubai handles like 15% of all global gold trade. That's insane for a country that has no gold mines. But that's just the beginning of what they're doing now. Okay, so here's where it gets really interesting. The dirham is pegged to the US dollar, right? Everyone assumes that means the UAE is just dependent on the dollar forever. But behind the scenes, the UAE is doing something incredibly strategic. And it's subtle. It's not loud, but it's powerful. Move one. Buying massive amounts of gold in 2024. The UAE central bank's gold reserves were worth about $6 billion. That's already significant. But then in 2025, it jumped. The gold reserve surged 64.93% to 37.9 billion dirhams. That's about $10.3 billion. In 1 year. That's not accidental. That's strategy. Why? Because gold backs up a currency. Gold is neutral. No government controls it. No government can freeze it. When countries don't trust the dollar system, gold becomes insurance. And listen to this. Central banks worldwide purchased 863 tons of gold in 2025. The UAE is part of this global trend, but they're doing it deliberately as a long-term strategy. Move 2. Building trade relationships with China, India. Our US has been actively strengthening economic ties with major emerging market powers. They're not being loud about it. They're just building relationships, partnerships, trade agreements that they've joined BRICS Plus as an official member. That's huge. That's positioning themselves alongside China, India, Russia, and other countries that are moving away from dollar dominance. Move 3. Creating regional price benchmarks. Here's something most people don't know. The Dubai Gold and Commodities Exchange, DGCX, is now creating dirham-denominated gold futures. They're literally building a regional price benchmark for gold and dirhams instead of dollars. Why does that matter? Because if you can set prices in your own currency, your currency gains power. You're building infrastructure that makes your currency necessary for global trade that move forward. Positioning Dubai as a neutral financial hub, Dubai and Abu Dhabi are being positioned as safe, neutral places where East and West can do business without political baggage. Think about this. If you're a Chinese company and you want to trade with Europe, you might worry about US sanctions or political issues. But if you route your trade through Dubai, you're in neutral territory. The UAE doesn't take sides. It just facilitates trade. That's incredibly valuable. And it makes the dirham more valuable because everyone needs it to trade through Dubai. In 2025, the UAE achieved total trade exceeding $1.63 trillion, with Dubai securing its highest ever ranking in the Global Financial Centers Index at 7th place worldwide. Move 5, building a global gold trading aim in 2025. The UAE officially surpassed the United Kingdom to become the world's second largest gold trading hub, with total gold trade exceeding $120 billion and year-on-year growth above 36%. Think about that. The UAE is now the second largest gold trading hub in the world, behind only Switzerland. Why is this important? Because gold and the dirham are becoming linked. As gold trades through Dubai, more people interact with the dirham. More transactions happen in dirham. More demand for the currency. Here's the genius part. The dirham is still pegged to the US dollar, but it's not dependent on the dollar anymore. It's building its own foundations, its own infrastructure, its own network in a world where countries are tired of relying only on the US dollar. The dirham is becoming an alternative, not as loud as the Chinese yuan, not as political, just quietly becoming more valuable because of Dubai's position as a global trade hub. What this actually means, okay, so let's connect the dots here. The world is slowly moving away from dollar dominance. We've talked about this in previous videos. Countries want options. They want a hedge. They don't want to be vulnerable to US sanctions. They want alternatives. The dollar used to be king because there was no alternative. But now there are alternatives emerging. The Chinese yuan, the Indian rupee, gold, and now increasingly the UAE dirham. Here's how the UAE positioned itself. While other countries are loudly fighting the dollar or trying to establish their own currencies, the UAE took a different approach. They said, we're not going to fight, we're going to become neutral infrastructure. They're basically saying, you want to trade without relying on the US or China? Come to Dubai, come to Abu Dhabi. We're neutral. We don't have political baggage. We have world-class infrastructure, and we have the dirham. And that's working. Multinationals are setting up regional headquarters there. Trade is flowing through. Gold is being traded. Businesses are being built. That's why gold matters for currency. When you have the long-term game, here's what I think is going to happen. In 10, 20, 30 years, the dirham could become a serious regional reserve currency, not replacing the dollar, but offering an alternative, especially for Middle East, Asian, and African countries. Companies that trade with Asia could use dirhams. Countries that want to reduce dollar exposure could hold dirhams. It's becoming an option. And the beauty of the UAE strategy is that it's not threatening anyone. It's not loudly anti-dollar. It's just better infrastructure, better neutrality, better safety. That's how you actually challenge the old order, not through conflict, through intelligence. Here's the core lesson from UAE's rise. In global finance, patient strategy and strong institutions matter more than natural resources. The UAE didn't have massive oil reserves, but they had vision, they had discipline, they had long-term thinking, and they built something powerful. And what they're doing right now, quietly building gold reserves, creating neutral infrastructure, promoting their currency, that strategic brilliance equals the global money order is slowly changing. And countries like the UAE are positioning themselves intelligently for that future here's my real question for you. Do you think the dirham will become a major regional reserve currency in the next 20 years? Or do you think the dollar's dominance is untouchable? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'm genuinely curious what you think. And if this video made you understand global finance in a new way, smash that like button. It helps get this content to more people. Thanks for watching till the end. See you in the next one. Peace.